Mm-hmm.
Because you like to torture us.
My finger hurts from sitting at my laptop watching it on the Peacock Network and just constantly hitting the forward button.
Click, fast forward,
click,
come on.
Fast forward, rest hold, fast forward.
Oh my god, something interesting.
I make a note, move on.
Yeah. Oh, and for those who didn't hear me, because apparently my mic wasn't working for a second, I'll go ahead and say it again. So this week we are talking WCW Slamboree 1993. Right now it's just myself, Scott, and James here. Walter should be getting in at some point because his computer decided to bite the dust, so what have you. But regardless, we are here. It's a Legends high school reunion. Essentially is what this is. Yeah.
Sorta, kinda.
Segment, interview, a match.
Basically, the reason for this is because every pay-per-view has to be different. So, hey, let's do a pay-per-view honoring the Legends. They would do it once a year.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like on paper, not a bad idea, especially for the old school fans. But in terms of execution, this pay-per-view varied year by year. And for the first year, well, you'll understand when we get into the show itself. So, WCW Slamboree 1993 took place at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, with an attendance of 7,008.
One of WCW's home bases.
Yep.
Yeah.
With an attendance of 7,008, 3,722 paid, with a live gate of $37,000, pay-per-view buys 100,000. So compared to the rest of the shows in WCW in 1993, the attendance for Slamboree was third highest, live gate was third highest, and pay-per-view buys was tied for second highest with Beach Blast and Halloween Havoc.
Wrestling recession!
Yeah. Wrestling recession indeed. But before we get into the foo, might as well quick name drop all of the legends that were there in the beginning of the show, including the 4 WCW Hall of Fame inductees: Lou Thesz, Mr. Wrestling 2, Vern Ghana, Eddie Graham, Ole Anderson, The Assassin, Ox Baxter looking like Satan incarnate,
Ox Baker.
Yeah.
Not Baxter.
I meant to say Baker. Jeez, what is wrong with me?
That's okay.
My brain is everywhere tonight. Red Bastion, Lord James Blears, The Crusher, Fabulous Moolah, Greg Gagne, Bob Geigel. Am I saying that right?
Bob Geigel.
Geigel. Mm-hmm. Stu Hart, Magnum TA, Bugsy McGraw, Don Owen, The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Grizzly Smith, John Talos, Mad Dog Vachon, and Johnny Valentine. That was at the beginning of the show. But, Scott, enough about that. What food do we have on Mass this time?
I had a lot of food for this show, I'll tell you that right now. And probably a good thing, too. So, for Slamboree in Atlanta, Georgia, baby, at the Omni, we got Legends galore. We have Max Payne on guitar. We have the return of Sid. We'll talk about that. A Flair for the goal, baby. We have Nails. I don't mean the stuff you put into the walls. We have one camera guy getting in the way a lot. And we have Blood. We also have Wahoo chopping and Baron clawing. For the moves, we have one power bomb. We have a pile driver. Spin and toe hold. One figure 4. One reverse pile driver. It's not called a tombstone because it wasn't the Undertaker doing it. One rude awakening. One stinger splash. One cage dive. One stun gun. 3 DDTs. One spinebuster. And one Vader bomb. And for the foo, we have cable foo, towel foo, guardrail foo, chair foo, belt foo, and cage foo.
And if I may add something else, non-finish foo.
Yeah, draw foo.
Yeah.
Broadway foo. That's it.
Yeah, there you have it. But with all that said and done, let's talk the matches on this night. So we have 10 fucking matches in 3 hours. So we begin the night with a tag team match, and you're going to hear the word tag team a lot on this show. We kick things off with a tag team match. We have beautiful Bobby Eaton and Chris Benoit. Benoit. Thank you, Chris Jericho. Versus Too Cold Scorpio and Marcus Alexander Bagwell. So this was kind of a continuation of like a mini story that started at Super Brawl with Scorpio and Benoit having their match, which we talked about that when we reviewed Super Brawl 3 and how that was a hell of a match between those two. So they kind of kept it going here, but then they added in Bobby and Bagwell into the mix and made it into a tag team match. Seeing a team of Bobby Eaton and Chris Benoit is so weird.
I guess this Express.
Yeah. But, I mean, for an overall opener, I thought it was a decent enough opener to kind of get things going.
There's nothing wrong with the match. They've Bobby works right with anybody, and Chris, of course, at the time was getting getting great buzz.
Yeah, that's really all you can say.
One thing I will add, you can tell with this match, like, there's a reason why they went to Disney during the summer, because very, very dark, very just empty feeling. And the fact that this was a Legends reunion in WCW's home base, and they only drew 7,000 with 4,000 comp, just
that tells you
not a good time.
How bad the business was at the time. And I did forget a move. I didn't know what to call it. I actually called the super spinning sit on my face, because that's exactly what Too Cold does to Benoit at the end of the match.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. So yeah, the finish, I guess you could say it was like a corkscrew leg drop he was going for.
It was
supposed to be, but Scorpio's ass went right into Benoit's head, and I bet you Benoit got it.
Started it all.
The what splash?
Zev Splash.
Zev Splash.
Well, real quick before we move on, I do have something I need to share about her.
Oh, God.
It ain't anything wild. This is actually something that was cool. So, her birth...
What, where?
Oh, for God's sake. So, now I can't even get my thoughts out, damn you. Alright. So, her birthday was just a few days ago, and one of my friends who's also a fan of hers named Duncan wanted to do something special. So, he goes on to Cameo and finds, Scott, I told you about that show Lex, right? And how there's a character named Zev Bellringer on the show.
I saw that video. I had no idea what that was about. Go ahead, explain it.
So, that video, it was the actress who played Zev on the show Lex doing a shout-out for our Zev for her birthday. Okay. So I was like, that was pretty cool. So, and Zev, and our Zev was like her heart almost stopped, because she's like, oh my God, you got one of my favorite actresses to do a shout out for me for my birthday. Like, I don't deserve this, but thank you, essentially. So had to get that out of the way, but moving back to the show, in the end, after Benoit...
By the way, I don't think Walter's going to be able to join us. His computer's really fucked up right now, so he might not be coming out at all, unfortunately.
So his day goes from bad to worse.
Even worse, yeah. Sorry.
You're here in spirit on the show this
Trace
week.
Hombres here.
Yeah, it's the Trace Hombres, not the Cinco Hombres. But in the end, after Benoit probably gets concussed after Scorpio's ass in his face from the top rope, Too Cold Scorpio and Marcus Bagwell defeat Bobby Eaton and Chris Benoit in 9 minutes 22 seconds. Moving right along, we get to the second match of the night. Van Hammer versus a mystery opponent. Out comes Colonel Robert Parker and just starts bad-mouthing at Van Hammer and introduces or reintroduces to WCW Sid Vicious to a big pop. And then we get the match. One word. Squash!
Exactly.
Because I'm home alone, I can yell!
Oh, he's home alone. That's right. You can scream and yell, yes.
See, this was perfect for what it was. You had to reestablish Sid as this big, dominant motherfucker. Why not have him just beat a guy in Van Hammer?
There you go.
No harm, no foul in beating Van.
Yep. So
Yep,
Sid
worked out
Vicious.
fine.
Yep, Sid Vicious defeated Van Hammer in 35 seconds. So,
This is about
Hold on
20
a second.
seconds
We
to
may
the
have
end.
something here.
Oh,
We may have something. We may have the run-in.
never mind
You're
that
waiting
shit.
to-
Here
They're
comes
running.
Walter.
Run-in!
The run-in.
There he
Yay!
is.
There you are.
There he is. He made it. Oh, that fucking
Where
computer.
are we up to right now in the matches?
We just got through Sid.
Sid Van Hammer. So only through
Yeah, we
two
just
Van
did
matches.
Hammer.
Yeah, we got that squash out of the way, so we're moving on to the next one.
Yep.
cash in.
Like, I want to talk about Bobby Eaton because he's the Mount Rushmore of wrestling kindness.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, along with Terry Funk and Mick Foley and The Rock. Nicest man in wrestling.
But now moving into the third match of the night, we get another tag match. This time it's a 6-man tag, and it's a Legends match. We have Dick Murdoch, Don Morocco, and Jimmy Snuka versus Wahoo McDaniel, Blackjack Mulligan, and Jim Brunzell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear
I heard
Lord.
that Snuka was
Jim
kind of
Brunzell
taken
part of
aback.
this?
I heard that Snuka was kind of taken aback at being in this match. Basically, they're like labeling as a old guy. And he's like telling them, I'm still in my prime, brother.
Brother, why am I on the heel side, brother? And putting him with Morocco and
he was in ECW this time too.
Yeah.
He was doing ECW as well.
right, he's working ECW at this time, so it's really weird.
So was Morocco.
Yep. Murdoch looked really bad. I mean,
Except for that head scissors spot. That looks sweet.
still got that in there, but damn, his arms look like shit.
Well,
Mulligan still looked good, relatively at that point. Jim Brunzell was still in great shape. And who was the third member of the team?
Oh,
Wahoo.
it was Wahoo,
Yeah.
Blackjack,
Wahoo
and
was looking pretty cool.
Brunzell.
I really wanted some kind of interaction between Wahoo and Johnny Valentine on this show, just for mark out purposes, because they just followed each other all around the territories and had incredible matches, did great business. But just to have something instead of just Johnny
nobody wanted
Valentine.
to do business in this match. That was the problem.
That's true too.
We wanted to fucking sell for anyone.
Nope.
Except for Brunzell and Murdoch worked hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they worked hard. That was the last time you saw Dick Murdoch. He showed up in the Royal Rumble 2 years later.
Yeah. That Rumble match.
That Rumble, yeah. Was that when he went to work for? Somebody told the story that he went to work for like Coors or Budweiser or something like that, and his job was just going around to different bars and buying beer for people.
Yeah.
That was his job. Remember that? So, it looks like he was in the middle of that, the way he was looking.
I think
It was like a year after that Rumble appearance.
Was that it? Oh, okay.
After that, it was like a year after that Rumble appearance when he passed away.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. There's only two people in this match that are still alive. Morocco and Brunzell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Wahoo, Mulligan, Sullivan, and Dick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All gone.
But
You know, it's the
I think Walter's PC's fucking up again.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
crowd is
Oh boy.
Ow.
Again, my podcasts aren't what they are when there's no technical difficulties, I swear.
The lag monster's back.
When it's live, there's nothing that can go wrong.
Exactly.
All right. But yeah, this match, it was kind of painful to sit through for me. And in the end, Murdoch, Morocco, and Snuka fought McDaniel, Mulligan, and Brunzell to a no contest in 9 minutes, 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Referee
Brunzell
gave
couldn't
up.
do the job. Like,
Again, like Walt was saying, nobody wanted to do business in this match. It's just
No.
like, I don't want to lay down for him. I don't want to lay down for him. Why should I lay down for him? All right, fine, fuck it. Just throw it out.
But moving on to another tag team match. It is Ivan Koloff and Baron Von Raschke versus Thunderbolt Patterson, and originally Bob Armstrong, but replaced by Brad Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the 6-man tag was bad. This was even worse between these two teams. Like, good Lord, a lot of these matches were painful to sit through. But don't worry, the worst has yet to come, and we'll get to that. But
oh yeah.
But all I'm gonna say is Thunderbolt Patterson and Brad Armstrong defeated Ivan Koloff and Baron Von Raschke in 4 minutes 39 seconds. At least this one was half the time of the last match.
Yeah.
But now, moving on to Dory Funk Jr. with Gene Kaninsky versus Nick Bockwinkel with Vern Ghana. This match
it's awesome. It is the best match on the show. It is a 20-minute experimentation to show you how a fucking wrestling... I'm not fucking joking here. This is not fucking funny. Get that fucking smile off your face, kid, right now. Because I am dead serious when I say that this match was the best fucking match on the show. This is exactly what wrestling is supposed to be. And you could have Daniel Bryan and Cesaro have this match now, and you would all think it was wonderful. So kiss my ass.
All I'm going to say about this... the context of they're both older and stuff like that, I thought the match was fine.
Yeah,
heel promo.
Yeah, that classic heel promo. I mean,
no, actually,
it was good.
Yeah, exactly.
Was.
What I was saying there, by the way, folks, that's a heel promo, by the way. Don't take it seriously. Thank you. I don't want anybody adding me, but I really. Who said what?
Oh, my buddy James calls. He's like, Scotty G, telling it like it is.
Thank you very much. Yes.
But go ahead.
But actually, honestly, I did like this match. I enjoyed it. I
mean, it wasn't.
It was a basic match.
It wasn't. So. It wasn't the worst.
50s.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it's not something I would want to go back and watch for a second time. And the problem I have with this match, it felt like an eternity. I bet it's still going on now. Oh no, wait! It ended in a time limit draw. My bad.
Right.
As in the end, Dory Funk Jr. fought Nick Bockwinkel to a time limit draw in 15 minutes.
Nobody wanted to do business.
Again? Yeah.
Yeah. But when the match is over, standing ovation.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's obvious there were some boring chants in this match. There were definitely some boring chants that you could hear in the crowd, but they were minuscule. And when that match was over, the crowd was on their feet and they were giving these guys applause. Because that's what the kind of matches they had. Those are the kind of matches that they built their careers on having. It's the most basic stuff. And I'm serious when I say that you could see that kind of match now with Daniel Bryan and Cesaro as examples. Had that kind of match, it would be great. It'd be a lot more intense, of course, because you have the younger and better looking, more guys in shape than those guys are. But it would still be the same basic match. So, in my opinion, I really enjoyed this match. And plus, Funk was my coach, so I got to play favorites here.
All right.
Indeed.
But that's half the card in. Now we get into the second half.
Indeed.
And the second half begins with, you guessed it, if you guessed tag team match, you would be correct.
You're correct.
This tag team match, it's Ravishing Rick Rude and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff versus the Natural Dustin Rhodes and Kenski Sasaki.
Yes.
Not Kensuke.
Tag team foo.
Kensuke Sasaki.
There you go. I'm slowly learning my ways of Japanese names here and there.
It's all good.
But yeah, this match, it was fine. Nothing offensive, nothing too spectacular, but yeah, this was mostly a continuation of the Rick Rude Dustin Rhodes feud that was going on at the time. Mm-hmm. So
you felt bad for Paul Orndorff watching this match because that's when he had the atrophy in his arm and everything, and it was, oh man, it just looked so bad. You really felt bad for him going into the match.
Yeah. It was only going to get worse.
That's what Benoit said, that he didn't have the neck surgery he should have had, and that's why that whole side of his arm atrophied on him. And it was fun though to see Sasaki kind of play a little bit more of a weird. Hey, look at that! You on your phone?
Yeah, I only got a little bit of battery life, so I might run upstairs and grab my charger.
Okay.
All right. I guess we're on to Dustin Rhodes and Kensuke Sasaki versus.
Yeah. Talk about Sasaki.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sasaki was being groomed this time to be the top man in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was his wrap up. Well, no. This wasn't his wrap up. He worked with New Japan from 92 or 91 to 97. But this was part of his learning excursion because they took him off. They sent him off to the U.S. to get him ready to be the new top guy to take over where the Three Musketeers left off.
That was a fun to see. In your opinion, was it fun to see like Sasaki be a little bit more sports entertainment ish in this match? Because he kind of had some back and forth with Rude at the beginning, some kind of old school stuff.
Sizing each other up.
Mm-hmm.
He was learning. I mean, this is before he transitioned. I just turned off the app on the computer.
That's okay.
He was transitioning this time. He was in about his 6th or 7th year. He wasn't brand spanking new. I mean, he was IWGP Tag Champion 3 times already. Once with Hase and twice with Road Warrior Hawk. Actually, he was part of the Hellraisers at this time. He had the shirt when he came to the ring.
Yep.
But yeah, this was they were getting him ready for a big main event run on upon his return to New Japan. But you could definitely see the dichotomy. He was learning to work. The Americans. Well, he also he did some stuff with the Hearts as well with at the Dungeon.
And is it me or is Sasaki short or is Rude really that tall?
Sasaki's about average. How about him fucking no-selling the Rude Awakening on that? You see that shit?
Yep.
Yeah, like, whoa.
I don't know the story behind that there. That was pretty messed up.
We were saying when you were having the computer problems there, it really seemed like nobody wanted to do business on this night. Like nobody at all. You mentioned the 6-man tag, and then you saw it again, with the other tag match, and Dory and Nick, they went Broadway, so nobody wanted to lay down, and you see it with this match with a no sell. So Jesus, talk about fucking screw over the Legends night.
Yeah.
Going back on that 6-man tag, I was going to comment on how it's at the end. Wahoo was like, "We are not ending this until someone takes my my tomahawk chop." And he does it to Morocco. Morocco just kind of like stumbles in the corner. Then he gives it to Snuka. What the hell does Snuka do? He just does this weird little. He takes it and keeps going and does this weird little flippy bump. I mean, I'm backtracking. I know that's because.
That's okay. That's okay. You weren't here. It's fine.
Yeah.
But man, just rough.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell was going on in the match with Sasaki and all that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it's like he sold that Rude Awakening like he sold the hip toss.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if the finish was a schoolboy ending.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let me grab a charger because I'm only at 15%.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
So in the end, Rick Rude and Paul Orndorff defeated Dustin Rhodes and Kensuke Sasaki in 9 minutes 25 seconds. And
While he's go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say while we're waiting for Walter to get his charger, let's talk about some of the promos we're getting from the Legends here.
Yeah.
Because every one of them gets a chance pretty much to talk. Some of them shouldn't have been given a chance, but it's really weird to see. Like, you had the guys that were the good talkers. Like you had Ox Baker do a promo, and Ox has always been crazy and wacky with his promos. That's what sold. His he was not a great wrestler. He was a worker, and he just cut some great weird promos and stuff, and got a lot of heat. And we were talking about the promos that were cut on the show, Walt, just like the other guys that's
the old guys who were like booking themselves into matches.
Yes, that's what I wanted to get to.
The Crusher and Ox Baker, booking themselves in a cage match.
Yep. Yeah, like what was like? Didn't the Assassin call out Dusty and?
Hasn't called out Dusty. It looked like Ganya was trying to run some sort of. Well, we didn't get to that match yet, though, did we?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
Well, no. Yeah, we did. I'm sorry. Yeah, we did.
Oh.
You did talk. You did talk about Ganya and
Bockwinkel and Funk?
Dory Funk. Yeah.
You mean that one?
Bockwinkel and Dory Funk. You guys already talked about that?
Yeah, we did. We did. Yeah.
Really? Okay. I thought that was.
I cut a heel promo on Levi about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was a good match.
See, there you go. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, that was the one Legends match where the fans were really starting to get into it towards the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, standing ovation when the match was over.
Yeah, and Dory was 50 years old when that match happened, and Bockwinkel was about 60. And just towards the end, though, like the near falls and all that, even the announcers were starting to get really into it. It was a good slow build from two of the absolute best. But anyways, did you notice Gagne at the end of the match was pissed off with Kaninsky? I don't know if he really was mad or he was like trying to work an angle or something like that. He wouldn't shake his hand. He was putting his finger in his face. I know Kaninsky beat Gagne for the title back in '56 or something like that. I don't know if he was trying to play off that. Not that the fans would give a shit, because half the fans didn't give a shit about these veterans.
That's true.
Which goes back to the unfortunately the tag match with Brad Armstrong and Thunderbolt Patterson against Koloff and Rashke. Thunderbolt Patterson was a huge star in the '70s.
If you could imagine that, he was.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. Take your shirt off. Take your shirt off. He's telling Brad Armstrong. I don't backtrack, and I want to cover all this stuff.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You have every right to go ahead and mention this stuff because your computer was being a bitch.
I still can't see you on my.
You know what I look like. It's okay.
I know you look like it.
They can see me. That's what's important.
My bald spot doesn't have to show
for a moment.
Oh, I lost James.
There
he comes. No, he's back. Just kicked out. Came back in. He kicked out. He kicked out.
Like, take your shirt off. Take your shirt off. He's telling Brad Armstrong.
Double thrust.
For some reason, I couldn't hear Walt there for a moment.
Oh, okay. Got you now. We can hear you.
Technical difficulties tonight.
And we can see you too, James. We're good.
And there you are.
All right. Oh my god.
So, but yeah, but that's what. Go back to the circling back to the theme we were just talking about. Yeah, it seemed like a lot of the veterans were like trying to book themselves in matches.
Yeah, and when we went over the stats of the show, 7,000 people in the building, 4,000 were comped, and this is fucking Atlanta. This is one of their. This is the Omni, dude. God, they used to sell this place out every month.
I'm gonna be honest with you. For a legend show, for the lineup they had, it was a little disappointing because it was mostly, with the exception of Dory Funk Jr. and Nick Bockwinkel, it's mostly mid card guys.
Yeah, basically,
don't get me wrong, guys who were big in the '70s. We're flashing forward. This is the early to mid '90s. We're going on here, and the business has changed gradually. And a lot of the people in the audience are not going to know who a lot of these guys are. Believe it or not, it's really it's kind of bizarre. But you also on top of that, Tully Blanchard was supposed to show up for the event. I'm sure James might have over that because he's the historian of us.
He was supposed to be, and he got lowballed. Yeah, because he was going to re-sign a full-time deal, and then he was lowballed and just said fuck it, and they turned it into a story. Yep.
And that was the thing. That was one of the big high points they were looking forward to. Was something like that. Something like involving Dusty. Dusty was hardly involved in it either, except for the promo at the end.
Yeah.
You know. I thought as a kid, they were going to bring in guys like Nikita Koloff. I thought we were going to see Koloff in there. Magnum was there.
Magnum was there for a bit. Yeah.
He was. That was the thing. Imagine what was going on. Magnum TA was 35 years old. I looked it all up when I watched this pay-per-view. He was 35 years old. Imagine what could have been going on if he did not have that car accident. He probably would have been main eventing the show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He'd have been multi-time world champion by this point.
He would have.
Top of the game. Top of the game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I do say, I think Magnum, though, he would have had a run or two as NWA World Champion. Vince would have caught him. Yeah. Vince would have brought him up. He could have had a huge run. He could have been the next. He could have. Oh, my God. Can you imagine a Randy Savage Magnum TA fucking program?
Oh, my gosh.
If Hogan actually went away and Randy got the spot like he did, and by the way, plug, this is a perfect time to plug this. James just did a wonderful exploration of the entire career of Macho Man, both in the WWF and in WCW. Check those out, please. And can you imagine, like, when after WrestleMania 5 would have rolled around, instead of it was Hogan Savage, it was Savage and Magnum TA.
SummerSlam '89 would have been Hogan and Magnum versus Savage and Zeus.
Or imagine WrestleMania 6, the Ultimate Challenge being Hogan versus Magnum.
Oh my God, man. Oh, what could have been? What could have fucking been?
I could have seen Magnum having a program with Rick Rude around that time, too.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, but remember, I'm just remembering this, too. Remember the timeline. Dusty would have been the WWF, too. Now, granted, Vince wouldn't have acknowledged their past He would not have brought that up, but there could have been like some tag matches of some kind, set them up against whoever at the time. God.
But for all we know, Magnum could have had a run similar to Dusty's.
Yeah, it's true. It is true.
Carolinas.
He's not my creation, pal.
He
could have been jobbing out to Mr. Perfect. He could have had a run against Mr. Perfect and job to him every night, pretty much. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would have been like for all we know, it could have been like similar to Dusty Rhodes and Ronnie Garvin. Good spirited run, but there to put.
We're just gonna call him Terry Allen.
Terry Allen, yeah, Magnum Terry Allen, Mr. Magnum Terry Allen.
Magnum Terry.
It would have been fun though to see at that time we could have seen possibly Dusty Rhodes and Terry Allen against the Brainbusters. I could have seen that.
You notice Dusty never wrestled with Arn and Tully in the WWF? Barely. I don't recall anything. I don't recall any of them.
I don't think so. Too much heat. I mean, between him and Tully.
Imagine had Flair left in '88 to go to the WWF.
Like there was rumors that Flair was supposed to have been on the first SummerSlam against Savage, but he declined to stay with Jim Crockett.
Well, but that could have been huge having Flair come in at that point. And that's the only reason Flair stayed out of loyalty, but the only reason Turner bought Crockett was because of Flair.
Yes.
And had Flair known that, he'd held him up for more money.
Big time.
But now...
what could have been?
Yeah, but now moving on. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, you want the best?
Fuck this
You got the best! Up next, it's Sting versus Nails! The Prisoner!
Hey, so we gotta get something to do, man. How about the bullshit?
This is the worst match of Sting's career.
I hated this match.
How about the bullshit chance? Oh, I bet you Nails wasn't going to tap out, blah, blah, blah. I can bet you Nails was a fucking politician backstage.
Oh, yeah. This match is way too long. Just, everything wrong with this match. I was hitting that damn button a lot in this one. Get through this freaking match.
So, I mean, I just said it a little bit beforehand. Is this the worst match of Sting's career? Fuck his later TNA shit.
Yeah, I think so.
That was at the end of his run.
This
right here.
This is pretty bad.
Yeah. And you got to give Sting credit. He tries.
And you can tell he had the same look on his face after that match that he had on his face after Victory Road against Jeff Hardy.
Look at fucking Levi's broken.
It's bullshit. I agree. He just wanted
to get wonderful.
Just get the match over with and get out of there, because that's what Sting did. He was done.
Yeah.
He was fed up to tell you.
Excuse me for a second, gentlemen.
He's gonna flop. He's gonna scream.
Fuck this match!
It's great when he's home alone sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, say how you really feel about the match.
What was that, Levi? We couldn't hear you.
This is the advantage I get of being home alone. I could do whatever the fuck I want and not have to worry about jack shit. So there you go.
That's right. Get that drum set out, dude.
I very well could. No, not right now.
But yeah. Who wants to hear Levi play drums right now in the chat? Let us know. Come on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I want to hear it. I want to hear Territory from Sepultura.
Oh, good Lord. I'm not at that level yet. All I'm going to say is Sting defeats the Prisoner in 5 minutes, 16 seconds. 5 minutes too fucking long. Moving on. And thank God we're at the part of the show that helps save this show from being a complete and utter disaster.
The last 3 matches.
Yes, and we kick off those 3 matches with the first of 3 championship matches of the night. A steel cage tag team match for both the NWA and WCW World Tag Team Championships. Champions the Hollywood Blondes of Stunning Steve and Flying Brian versus Dos Hombres, Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas? No, I'm sorry. Tom Zink. Yeah, we might as well get into the story of how this happened.
Imagine being Tom Zank. I mean, you got yourself a match. I mean, Zank is almost pretty much gone from the company right now, but he gets booked for a match, but he's got to be somebody else.
Yeah.
He's got to be the guy who just quit.
And they're opening acknowledging that it's not him.
Yeah, they keep saying it's Douglas in the match.
So, basically, you had the Hollywood Blondes.
Shane Douglas. He's got to be, yeah, he wrestled as Shane Douglas. He kept the mask on for the sake of kayfabe because they didn't want anybody knowing that Shane left the company. So
go ahead, James. James was saying, go ahead.
Tom Zank had a blog on the internet for many years, a very bitter blog, and shit like this can make me understand why Tom Zank was so bitter.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, James.
All right. So yeah, Hollywood Blondes were feuding with Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas. And then you get a match on TV where it's the Hollywood Blondes versus Dos Hombres. Dos Hombres beat them. Ricky unmasks, and it's like, oh my god, they pulled a ruse over everybody. The other guy does not take his mask off, does not talk. Ricky does all the talking. So sets up the rematch, supposedly, between the Blondes, Ricky and Shane. Shane's gone. So they come on, it's like, oh, we're going to just dress up as Dos Hombres. And they have their match.
Yeah, and they try to build it as like, oh, if we stay as Dos Hombres, we can have better luck and get the belts. Because they beat them in the mask before. So,
that was the gimmick.
Yeah, that was the gimmick with this match. But regardless, I thought this was a hell of a cage match between these two teams. It was a really damn good match. And then again, most of the Blondes matches during this time were really good to amazing, especially the matches against the Horsemen later on.
The finish was a little choppy, but it was still
yeah. They fuck up big time when that guy did. When he does the big dive, and it looks fucking spectacular. And 1, 2, ding, 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 ding. And even the referee's like, no, wait. The whole crowd just lost the crowd after that.
Yeah. I was like, really? Damn it all.
That was like the finish to ECW Barely Legal. When Raven kicked out the first roll up there.
Yeah.
Good move.
Yeah. But, and then seeing, like, some of the spots they would take into the cage, especially Austin taking the suplex into the cage and then bouncing off and almost landing on his fucking head.
Hanging him up there?
Yeah, and hanging him up there, and imagine having that chain link stabbing you in the legs. Thankfully, he had knee pads on to keep it from being worse, but he probably would have had dents for days in his fucking calf.
You knew it was Zank once he hit the drop kick.
Yeah.
Zank has that kind of that drop kick that, like, Hennig and Brunzell and all those guys. Same drop kick. You knew it was Z-Man.
Yeah. But yeah, despite the slightly fucked up finish, the Hollywood Blondes defeated Dos Hombres to retain the tag titles in 16 minutes, 8 seconds. And before we get into the next match, because it involves one of the guys in it, we forgot to mention the Flair for the Gold segment that happened earlier in the show. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we get excuse me. So we get a Flair for the Gold. Fifi, yep. But yeah, we get a Flair for the Gold, and it's Ric Flair announcing the Four Horsemen's back. Too bad no Tully. And we talked about that earlier. So the new Four Horsemen.
Him.
Yeah. So the 4 new members of the Four Horsemen. We have Ric Flair, the Andersons, Ole and Arn, and Paul Roma.
Now, how long was Ole around?
Not long. No.
I think it was just this night, and then
I think you're right.
Gone.
I think you're right. He probably just showed up and was like, "Oh, how much I'm getting paid? I'm not. Fuck you. I'm gone." And then, Paul Roma, Bobby Fish's illegitimate father. I just don't know what the fuck that decision was all about.
Is Roma the worst member of the Horsemen ever?
Tully lowballed. That's why.
Like, in terms of worst Horsemen, it's either Roma or Jarrett. And nothing against them as talents.
Wake up, Levi. Wake up.
It's nothing against them as talents. They're not what you think of when you think of
Horsemen. No.
Kurt Hennig was the worst Horseman. He turned on.
Yeah, even
Nice.
though that was stupid and made no sense, but whatever. But yeah, so
Still
now
a great fucking heel turn though.
great heel turn, but in the long run, it proved to be a terrible decision.
It would be an honor.
But anyways, now that we got that out of the way, now the penultimate match of Slamboree 1993, the second of 3 championship matches for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Champion Barry Windham defending against the Enforcer, Arn Anderson. Arn finally gets a big gold title shot. Another really
His
good
only
match.
world title shot of his entire career, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what I also discovered is Barry Windham is 33 years old in this.
Yeah.
Still in his peak, still in his prime. And I love Barry Windham, and I don't know why he never... I mean, he was in the upper card, but he never got moved up to being, like, the top guy or one of the top 2 or 3 guys.
No
he
idea.
was at an age where he was at the age right there, he should have been in that position.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of was at this point, but there was not a lot going on.
Yeah.
Well, he had the run. When did he have that run with Flair? Was that 86 or early 87?
About 86.
So
Right
he
around
had that. And then, then he was shot down the card, Western States Heritage title, and blah, blah, blah.
then
Then
the thing with Luger, then
Horseman
he came over-
turn. He becomes the workhorse of the Horsemen. No pun intended, I guess. Gets you a title. You could have,
goes
like,
off and beats the Widowmaker for a cup of coffee.
then he comes back. Then he comes back to work in WCW, NWA. Has that short run there. Then he goes back to be the stalker.
I really thought like he was gonna be like going places as the Widowmaker. It was the same. He was just Barry. He was still the same old
Barry Windham, different name.
Yeah, I was just going by the Widowmaker. That's all it was, and he came off like a badass. I don't think he lost a match when he was the Widowmaker.
I don't think so.
He was supposed to be in Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What
He's
year?
like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
89.
80.
And that was crazy. 3 of the 4 horsemen were in. That's quite wild. 3 of the 4 horsemen were in that show.
Yeah.
And JJ was backstage doing shit
Yep.
as well.
Working with Vince.
So,
Booking the shows, yeah.
Yep.
oh, hey, wow, the Horseman's in this company.
Who? I don't know what that is, pal.
But yeah, like I said, this match between Windham and Arn was really good, but I feel like if they had taken some time off of like a few matches previous and added it to this match, I think it would have been a lot better. I would say.
Yeah.
And Windham with the gusher, man.
Oh, yeah. It was also weird to see the roles the guys were playing this match, that Arn was the babyface.
Yeah.
And Barry was the heel. You were used to seeing the other way around.
Yes.
So it was, at least for me, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but at least for me, it was like really weird to see that dichotomy going on.
Arn was a babyface for like a year and a half there, and it did not feel right.
No, it
He
didn't.
was a babyface also in '89 too, and just watch it. Yeah, but that didn't last long either, though. It's like
No.
It's like he came back, was babyface for a couple of months, and then they turned on Sting.
Turn on Sting, Texas Shootout.
Yeah, he was a babyface long enough to take the TV title off of Muda.
Right. Yeah.
True.
And then here he was babyface from like the start of the year through the summer of '94
That's true.
when he turned on Dustin.
Yep.
But in the end, Barry Windham defeated Arn Anderson to retain the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in 10 minutes 55 seconds.
And that makes me think: why aren't we having segments on AEW of Dustin telling Cody, "Why do you have Arn in your corner? You know what he did to me."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They're pulling the WWE and totally forgetting about history.
Totally forgetting about history. They don't care.
Yeah.
You've seen what he did to our father. You've seen what he did to me. He's gonna fuck you over too.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet, because that's the thing I was predicting. I'm like, Arn Anderson, is naturally a heel, and he hasn't gone heel yet on Cody.
Think of the absolute best time they're going to do that. They should do that, and then wait 2 weeks ahead of that. Then they'll do it.
Yeah. Actually, Cornette made a very good point about one discrepancy with Arn in the match. He had that match with QT Marshall about a week or two ago, and he goes over and punches QT, and Cornette goes, "Why the fuck didn't the ref disqualify Cody for that? He says, if that was a standard heel move right there, that's a normal disqualification. Why are they having Arn get away with shit like that? Just another discrepancy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But now we get into the main event of Slamboree 1993 and the third and final championship match of the night for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Champion Big Van Vader with Harley Race versus challenger the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. So, we talked about Davey's debut at Super Brawl 3 and how he was going straight after Vader's title. Before this, we get that angle where Vader injures, well, it was supposed to be a kayfabe injury, but turned out to be a shoot injury on Cactus Jack. So they were building up this match between Davey and Vader as Davey fighting for Cactus and anybody else Vader has been injuring over the past few weeks.
They also brought up the other legitimate injury that Vader caused. What's his name? Joe, help me, James.
Thurman.
Joe Thurman, thank you. They also brought that up, too. If you listen to, I think Bischoff mentions that. And that was like something that Leon took took hard. I guess like he was really upset about hurting that guy. And they're putting that injury into an angle just to build how dangerous Vader.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, with this match, if you ask me in terms of like WCW World Title matches, this would be up there as one of the more underrated ones. I thought this was a hell of a match between these two. And I love how it starts. I love how it starts because, it's like Davey's a few inches shorter than Vader, but in the power ranks, you could argue at this point in the world of wrestling, Davey was pound for pound the strongest guy in the business. And in this match, he certainly showed it. And I love how it starts. Vader tries to knock Davey down, but Davey's like,
Nope.
He's
not going anywhere.
And then throughout the match, you see power set piece after power set piece with Davey, showcasing how strong he is and how he's stable. Like, you want the true test of a strong wrestler? It's like anybody can throw weight around, but it's the stability and holding them up is what gets you. And Davey was able to stabilize Vader. Hell, for a fucking vertical suplex, he held him up for quite a bit before dropping him. It's like, Jesus Christ, Davey.
Like, yeah, Vader's helping him, but he needs to have that balance and that sturdiness, like you said, to hold him there.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then we get to the end of the match where, yeah, Davey's getting all the momentum going, taking Vader to the absolute limit, because up to this point, nobody apart from perhaps Sting was really a legit threat to Vader. And then Davey, he's coming in like a fucking rocket ship, just doing all this crazy stuff, picks him up from the top rope, holds him up, and then the Oklahoma Slam. And then the pin, 1, 2, Harley's pulls Davey over the ropes, and then they go after a bit before Vader takes Larry Zbyszko's chair right in the back of the head. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Disqualification.
Shit finish.
Yeah, bad finish to a great match between these two.
I understand why they booked a finish like that. I totally get that.
Keep Davey strong and keep the belt on Vader.
Uh-huh.
But
although if you were ever going to give Davey the belt, you could have given it to him for a little bit.
Yeah, you could have given it to him for at least a month, and then drop it back to Vader if it had to go down that way.
Apparently, he was supposed to get the belt during the European tour in October, at the start of the tour, and then lose it at the end of the tour.
Oh.
So it's like, hey, British World Champion, come to our shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it would have worked in terms of drawing in a crowd over there as well. So, because after all, we got to keep in mind that wrestling was booming in Europe at this point, whereas here in the States, yeah, wrestling recession, but over in Europe, particularly the UK, it was doing big business over there.
That's why WWF frequently toured the UK around that time.
They can make some money. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why SummerSlam was at Wembley.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, Davey Boy Smith defeated Vader by disqualification in 16 minutes, 16 seconds. Then post-match, in came Bagwell and Scorpio to try and help Davey out, and they get annihilated. Then out comes Sting to continue their story that had been going on for quite a while. And all this eventually leads to the tag feud of Davey and Sting versus the master of the powerbomb, Sid and Vader, going forward for a couple months.
Powerbomb.
Yeah. So overall,
Segment was fucking great.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, Slamboree 93, if not
Best
for
of intentions. Best of intentions, execution subpar.
Yeah. Thankfully, you had those last 3 matches that saved this show from being a complete and utter failure. So, that's really all you could really say about this show. Apart from the final 3 matches, skip the rest of this show, honestly. And there you go. Now on to favorite, least favorite, and sleeper match of the night. For me, favorite match, I'm going to give it to Davey and Vader for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Least favorite match, I got a feeling we're all going to be in agreement. Sting and the Prisoner. And then sleeper match... Oh, this is hard because apart from those final 3 matches, I can't really think of another match prior that you could say you could rewatch again. So I'm going to cheat and I'm going to give sleeper to Barry and Arn. Scott?
I've mentioned earlier, I'm going to be totally prejudiced about this. My favorite match was Dory Funk Jr. and Nick Bockwinkel for its simplicity and its technical prowess, its masterclass wrestling. So it's a favorite for me on this show. Least favorite, yes, Sting, Prisoner, horrible match. Sleeper for me is Davey Boy and Vader. Great world title match, bad finish, but we all understand why it had to go that way.
Walter?
My favorite match was the tag team cage match. I thought that was a really good match. Least favorite, Sting and the Prisoner. My sleeper match is Bockwinkel and Dory Funk Jr. Same reasons for Scott. I think it's I thought it was a great wrestling. I mean, Scott and I are fucking old, all right?
We're old. I'm older, but yeah, we're old, so we're going to appreciate this.
Okay. We appreciate stuff like that.
I was trained by one of those guys, so I have to show some loyalty.
James?
It was a good simplistic match. I mean, granted, it's not something catered to today's audience, but
obviously,
well, yeah. But
I say that with love.
Yeah, but it was just great watching 2 master technicians, 2 master story, especially like a guy like Bockwinkel, who just was not only a great wrestler, but my God, fucking charismatic, like just dripping off of him.
Great promo. Way better promo than Dory.
Oh God, yeah. I actually might even put him over Flair a little bit in terms of charisma, as far as promos go. Just the way he articulated himself and just came across. But just a very good smooth, especially towards the end. The fans were on their feet towards the end of that match.
Standing ovation.
Shivani and Bischoff were losing their shit towards the end of that match. Okay.
Okay. Now let's answer this question though, and you're gonna know, Walt, or James, you're gonna know. Where the fuck is Terry at this point? Is he ECW? Is he ECW?
I think he was ECW. Now that I remember.
Okay. Because he's the one guy missing from this show.
Yeah.
The other
ECW,
other Mount Rushmore member, the other fourth of the Mount Rushmore wrestling company.
Yep.
Yeah. James?
Favorite was the tag team title cage match. Least favorite, Sting and the Prisoner. And sleeper, Bockwinkel and Funk. I really enjoyed that match.
There you go.
Levi, you're all alone.
I know. I guess the reason I say Barry and Arn was a sleeper was just for the mere fact that, as good as it was, it just felt too short.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
The guy was Scott cutting heel promo on you and not Cornette.
Oh God.
I'm actually going to say I'm just doing a promo. I'm not going to shoot.
Hey, check this out. Eat your heart out, Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, but that paper's got stuff on it. His is just blank, like his head.
Actually, my room is not. My basement's nowhere near as bad as Meltzer.
No, nowhere near. So
the funny thing is, actually, people were saying that he knows where everything is in that office.
Bullshit.
Okay. Bullshit is right.
I believe it. He seems like one of those those weird type
OCD hoarder type dudes.
Yeah. Because I knew teachers who had college professors who had their offices and their desks like total shitholes, and they knew where everything was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Scott. Oh, But Scott, push job endeavor for this week.
I had to give you guys the easiest push job endeavor ever for this show. So here's your 3 names: Bobby Eaton, Brad Armstrong, The Prisoner. Go ahead.
Push Bobby, job Brad, fucking release The Prisoner because fuck Kevin Kelly.
If anybody says push The Prisoner, just go away.
Yes.
Just go away. You know you're lying to yourself.
James.
Push Bobby, Job Brad, and Barry and Endeavor Nails.
Walter. Walter. Basically,
He's thinking it.
Now, push Bobby because, again, Mount Rushmore kindness. Bobby Eaton deserves so much more in his career. He really did. Job Brad, I love Brad Armstrong. He just does a good job jobbing, though. He does a great job making guys look a
Good job jobbing, huh?
Yeah. Or I was going to say push Bobby, Job Nails, and Endeavor Brad and let Brad go seek, greater heights. Or no. Push Brad, Job Nails, and Endeavor Bobby and let Bobby seek greater heights somewhere else. Let him go with Cornette. Let him go with Cornette and Smoky Mountain and do better shit.
Russell, stop lying.
I was just about to say that.
Stop lying, Russell.
I don't even think we need to hear Scott's because I think he's in agreement with all of us.
I really, for me in this case, of course,
Nails.
no. Of course, release The Prisoner. Legitimately release The Prisoner. But either way, it could have gone either way. I wouldn't mind seeing Brad get pushed. I think it would have been cool. He would leave, WCW and go to Smoky Mountain, I think, at some point in this time frame. And same with Bobby. So either one of them was kind of like interchangeable. So that's why I made it so easy for everybody.
Or wait, push Nails off a cliff.
There you go. I like your style.
Am I reading this right, Ricky? Did you seriously say you bought a Billie Eilish album and you're asking if that removes your metal card? Come on.
No, it's fine.
Come on, Ricky. Don't sell yourself short that way. But anyways,
Billie Eilish is not metal, so it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Yeah. But anyways, so a reminder of the rest of May schedule. This is the last review episode we're doing until the start of June, where we come back to WCW to talk Great American Bash 96, because next week's episode, we're talking Samoa Joe's TNA undefeated streak from Slammiversary 2005 through Genesis 2006. Oh, there you go. Yeah, more Walter artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Which one they expressed, though? Which one?
The classic one.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Which classic one, though?
Is that Dennis or is that...
Is that Dennis or Stan? I did call I called Bobby Eaton and Chris Benoit Pegasus Express.
Wow. You know what's weird is like the polar opposites of morality in wrestling is right there in that tag team.
You're right. You're so right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have one of the nicest.
Bobby, good family man, wouldn't screw anybody over, wouldn't say boo to a goose, nicest guy. Benoit steals Sullivan's wife and kills her.
Oh God, yeah. But yeah, so next week we're talking Samoa Joe's TNA undefeated streak, and then at the end of the month we're doing our first top 10 episode where we're talking top 10 wrestlers on the microphone. Not managers, so on the actual wrestlers in the ring that can talk. And that's going to be a difficult list for me because there are so many. Yeah. There are so many. But
okay, so we're making that distinction. They cannot be managers.
No managers.
Doing that?
Cannot be managers.
Even if they were wrestlers.
They can be They could have been managers after the fact, but during their wrestling.
But during their in-ring wrestling careers, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I also want to ask, do we have a start date? Because if we're talking the entire history of wrestling, we're going...
Yeah. I'm going to say let's start around 1980.
No, I'm thinking...
let's go back to like 75. How about 75? You think that's fair?
Okay.
Yeah, 75.
I think that's good. I mean, that's my birth year, so hey.
Oh, there you go.
It's all good, Russell. It's all good. We know you're trolling.
Fabulous ones.
Hey.
Fabulous ones.
Hey. So yeah, that's the May schedule. The June schedule, like I said, the first week we're back in June, we're doing WCW Great American Bash 96. Then the week after, and I know Ricky's going to join us for it, Eddie Guerrero's WWF WWE run from 2000 to 2005. Then the week after that, as I said last week when I announced the schedule, we're going to talk about a show I wish I could have fucking went to because it was in Columbus and I could have got to see a Grey Hell in a Cell match, Bad Blood 2004. Then the final week of June, top 10 Undertaker one-on-one matches. July, we got WCW Bash at the Beach 1994, where we get Billy Joe Travis.
Wow.
Oh, wowie.
Where's the guitar, dude?
WCW Bash.
Can you draw the illustrious Johnny Stewart? Can you draw him?
So
Can you draw the illustrious Johnny Stewart?
So WCW Bash at the Beach 94. Then the week after that, we're going to be doing a discussion episode about the history of WWE guys going to TNA from the beginning to even now. Then we're doing WWF Fully Loaded 2000. Then a top 10 episode of the top 10 best baby faces in wrestling history. And then at the end of July, ECW Heatwave 1999. And then August 7th, because it's the day before... What the hell?
Yes. Roddy P. Gossett. You got to give him a third chin.
Oh, yeah, right there. It's right there.
Was it there? Okay. I thought that was his stomach.
Her chin and a second stomach.
Yeah, thanks. Big ass sloppy man boobs.
Well, James and Scott totally are getting this too.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not getting this.
It's okay. It's okay.
But anyways, but yeah, August 7th, because it'll be the day before my birthday. It's kind of a birthday bash episode, but we are going to be talking WWF SummerSlam 2001. Despite it being one of the epitomes of everything wrong with the invasion angle, one of the most underrated SummerSlam pay-per-views of all time, regardless of booking. Then the week after that, we're talking a discussion about gimmick pay-per-views. Which ones were good? Which ones have been terrible? Are they good for wrestling or are they bad for wrestling? Then the week after that, we're going to be talking about one of TNA's best pay-per-views, Hard Justice 2008. And then we end August with the opposite side of the coin, top 10 best heels in wrestling. So that's...
Might be some crossovers there. Might be some crossovers, best heels and best baby faces.
Yes, there very well could be some crossovers.
There have been a... See, for September, we could do a top 10 list of the best wrestlers who were both babyface and heel.
That's everyone.
Best at both.
That's everyone.
Best everybody.
Yeah.
Best at both.
Oh,
best at both.
I mean, those who excelled at both. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Mm-hmm.
Like The Rock.
Yeah.
Yep, Hogan. Mm-hmm.
Hogan. Actually, no. I was going to say Flair, but no. Flair's not. No.
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 Great heel, okay babyface.
Okay babyface. Yeah.
He hated being babyface.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the only guy. So now that gets into a funny little discussion now. Whenever wrestlers talk about which they prefer, being heel or face, and you hear most of them say they prefer to be heel. The one guy.
It's a lot. It's more fun.
A lot easier.
Yeah, but it's like, I swear, the one guy I've heard in recent years that has admitted that they prefer to be the babyface is AJ. He said it on that table for three with Shane and Kurt that he kind of enjoys being babyface more than being
He's a really
heel.
good baby. He's really good.
I think I honestly am going to say he's a better babyface than a heel. He's a great heel, but I think he's a better babyface because he's just naturally, he's just easy to like.
He's Bret Hart. When it comes to that.
Yeah.
He's Bret Hart. Yeah.
Because, and like with Bret, and that's going to be an interesting thing, because with Bret, I'll go ahead and say whenever I'm talking about best heels, I might put Bret in the list for his 97 run because he was so good in that role.
Well, that's because nobody remembers Bret when he was a heel as the Hart Foundation in the 80s. All he did was this.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really it. But and then Anvil. But
actually, the best heel in the Hart Foundation was Jimmy.
Jimmy Hart, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Hey guys,
get him, Daddy.
I got you a title shot.
to the dais long.
Jimmy Hart's Mickey Mouse. I never realized that. Yes.
The top two heels in 1987 were Honky Tonk Man and Danny Davis. That's for all company.
That's a good point. Yeah.
WrestleMania 3, everyone wanted to see Danny Davis get the shit kicked out of him.
Mhm.
And he didn't.
Nope.
They did for the rest of the year when they decided to break him from the Hart Foundation and just job him out. But I remember I told Danny Davis he was like so like flattered, like that, you know, he's like he was absolutely so like he felt so complimented. I have his book laying around. I didn't pay. Casanova gave it to me.
That's nice.
So now we're gonna answer questions and hang out for a while. So
Wait a
Arthur,
with Slamboree, we didn't talk about the Hall of Fame segment.
we did
Briefly.
We did briefly. Yeah, at the beginning before we got into the foo, I talked about.
Yep.
But to answer questions and hang out for a while, so Arthur Jones had already asked earlier, reaction to New Jack's death. Well, it was surprising, I will say that.
I figured the guy had a lot of health. I mean, look what he's been through with his life.
Yeah.
I mean, he opened numerous injuries, like life-threatening injuries.
Danbury fall.
Openly admitted he did hard drugs. I mean, I assume he was clean the last few years. I think it was the same case of Eddie Guerrero, where it's just his body just gave up.
Oh, yeah, you do that much medication, and your body's eventually going to break down faster than usual. Paul Heyman did a great job on Talking Smack. He did a great tribute to New Jack. He had his problems. We know that he was not a good guy. Don't lie to yourself.
People need to quit pretending.
Yes, he had problems, and he had mental issues from the fall, at the Danbury incident that James referred to. But he was doing stuff like that before that. So, I mean, it just compounded the kind of, survivalist instinct that he had. He did not have a good upbringing. He did not have a good life. He needed to make money. He found the wrestling business to do it, and he made his mark. He was a hell of a fucking talker. A hell of a freaking promo.
That was like WCW. They never really pushed on was how good of a promo he was.
Because Smoky Mountain, he was killing it on the promos.
You could be like, wrestling's wrestling, but New Jack, he's fucking real.
Yeah.
That fucker's real, and you paid to see him. Yeah.
Cornette said they were building towards New Jack and Undertaker at one of their Smoky Mountain, like their big shows, and something happened where it fell through. And Cornette was actually really excited about it because he thought the promo build was going to be fantastic. So
and so you
could still see some of those promos on YouTube.
Yeah, they're out there. You can find them.
He did kind of when they came on board initially as the Gangsters. He did cut a few promos here and there, but nothing really, nothing on that level of Smoky Mountain. They definitely changed the character around. I mean, from the Smoky Mountain character, he had more of almost like an Undertaker mystique to him. Not in the sense of like being the dead man or anything like that, but I meant like being the
mysterious nature.
Yeah. It's like certain things would trigger New Jack, and the music would hit. He's the only wrestler I know of whose music played through the entire match.
Because his matches were for scenes in movies. They were violent scenes. That's why he had it there. It was background music for his violence. And he was another wrestler, like we were saying before, what James said with, wrestling's fake, but New Jack's real. He was one of those guys that if you found out you were working some way with him, your fucking sphincter tightened up real tight. It was like, oh shit, what the hell's he gonna do to me? You better be on Jack's good side today. Have some cocaine or whatever in your bag to keep him happy.
If your name was Eric Koulos, Gypsy Joe, Chad Austin, who else?
Yeah, just keep naming names. Vic Grimes.
Oh my God, yeah.
So you had to be nice. It was, and he had the easiest job of the night. Music hits. He comes out, hits you with 10,000 objects or whatever. Hits the guitar with the powder. Goes to the top. Does the 187 chair shot. Pins you, and then he goes in the back. Gets paid.
Yeah. When Natural Born Killers played yesterday, everyone went, "Oh shit."
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and can anybody? I mean, I am totally converted and trained to when I hear that song, I instantly do that shit no matter where I am. I'm in the fucking car and the music comes on, I'm like, Just got to do it at least a couple times. Looking stupid,
What
but
about-
it's
you
just
think about New
it's
Jack,
part of
a
it.
lot people say if you fans like if you caught him in a good mood, he was like really nice. Like
Remember when
really
Punk knew? Remember when Punk? I don't mean CM Punk. This Punk that we know went down to Wildside and saw him down there. He met him. Do you remember that story?
No.
Tanner and Punk went down to go to Georgia because Tanner was trying to work some kind of deal. Sorry, we're having a side conversation again. Tanner was trying to work out some kind of deal with Bill Barons for NWA Wildside because he had the idea of doing NWA with Tri-State Wrestling. And and him and Punk went down there. They got to work, I guess, like maybe I don't know if they did TV, but they did like some job match or something. And they got to meet a bunch of people. And New Jack was down there, and so they got to at least meet him and talk to him for a little bit, and said he was okay. Bobby Ocean said he got to meet New Jack at a show when he was like 14, 15 years old. And then when they were in the business together, he was like, "Hey, motherfucker, how you doing?"
And then,
So he was cool, all
New
that stuff.
Jack and
I guess
Beyond the
what was
Mat.
yes, yep. Barry Blaustein getting him an audition. You know, it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Well, actually, a good friend of ours, Matt Knowles, New Jack's final match was with Logan.
He just wrestled a couple, like last week or whatever it was. Was it Logan DeVito? Was it Carnage Crew or
Yep.
against New Jack? It was the last match.
Yep.
I mean, all I'm gonna say about with New Jack is I, over the years, have not said the best things about the man, especially after the one thing I still hold against him was after when Jerry Lawler had that heart attack in Montreal on Raw, and he goes out and says he wishes he would have died. It's like, come on. Anybody who wishes death on somebody, even if you hate the guy with passion, you're a fucked up human being. I'm sorry.
That's where the mental health situations of New Jack came into play. I'm pretty sure when he got that news, I think New Jack was having a very off day. It doesn't justify New Jack doesn't get a pass for what he said or anything.
No.
So New Jack made his mark. That's the one thing
That's
say
like,
what you want, think what you want about New Jack. He made his mark in the business. That's a fact.
There ain't going to be another one.
No.
to what Levi said, that goes for all the people that say, "Oh, I'm glad New Jack's dead." It's like, what the
Exactly.
fuck?
Yeah, it goes
You may
both
not
ways.
like New Jack, but to be glad that he's dead, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, Lance Storm even said, "Hey, if you want to talk shit about New Jack, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you not to, but don't fucking tag me in it."
Right.
Because that's what people are doing.
But
I found New Jack entertaining. I liked New Jack when he wasn't beating the fucking bludgeoning people. I liked New Jack when he was teaming up with Shark Boy. That was fun.
when was this?
TNA.
This must have been
TNA.
Early days.
was
Okay,
brief.
Levi.
It was
Levi,
brief.
Yep.
Levi, Marky D123 did an episode on New Jack and TNA. So
There you
look
go.
at that channel and look up the episode. He
Yeah,
went
check
through
that
all
out.
his
There you go.
matches.
All right. I do
Just the
remember
craziest
the one match I remember New Jack had in TNA was that Hard 10 match with Sandman. That was it. That's all I remember. So,
Yep.
because
Just getting to see
I
him.
think if I remember right, that was on the original TNA's Best of the Bloodiest Brawls DVD. That's so hard to get a hold of because I probably have told this story in the past, but for those who didn't know, so back when TNA's early days was going on, like 2002, 2003, they had 3 DVDs that are highly sought after. I had 2 of them, which were Best of the X Division and the Best of the NWA title matches. The third one was Best of the Bloodiest Brawls, and the reason why, and the DVD got pulled from TNA because of the scalping of Raven. It got pulled from the shelf because of that, which I find silly because they put that segment on a bunch of other DVDs like 50 Greatest Moments, Best of the Asylum Years, so it's like, what's the issue now? But regardless, yeah, I just remember that
I might
match from
have
that
that.
DVD.
I know I have that DVD. I don't know what version I have. I might have that
No,
one. I don't know.
Was it the one with Slash on the cover?
No, it's got Sabu.
Okay, that was the second version they did
That's the
that
second
they
one?
called
Okay.
Volume 1, but it's really Volume 2.
Then I don't have that
Which
one.
I had that DVD too, and that was an amazing DVD.
Mhm.
There's a
Oh,
promotion
thank
going
you.
right now with Impact Plus. You get the first 2 months free.
Oh,
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I might get that then, just so I could watch a couple of these TNA shows we're going to be talking about. What?
I posted the link in the page.
Yep, there's right there in front of you.
Oh,
They
okay.
played it as an angle. Don Callis and Kenny Omega says it's their gift to the fans. Thanks, Kenny.
Oh, hey, there
Appreciate
you
it.
go. Ooh. But anyway, so
Can I tell you guys what the nightmare I had the other night? I had a nightmare that AEW had a scaffold match.
oh god.
Do you know who was in it?
And the finish is somebody landed on pillows.
No, I don't remember who was in it, but I just heard AEW in a scaffold, and because AEW is all about like, oh, let's bring nostalgia back. Yeah, let's bring back the shitty scaffold matches that people forget sucked.
Was it you, me, and Jennifer against the kids?
Oh god.
Atticus will be choke slamming us off the thing.
Yes. I can't believe how fucking tall he's getting. Oh my god.
Dude, he's fucking teenage Kane. That's Kane when he burned the house down.
Oh sure.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep, his boy getting big.
But
Is Biscuit is Biscuit getting that tall? Is Biscuit getting that tall?
She's about up to here.
All right.
Anyways,
Wow.
James.
speaking of AEW, how
he's like he's big, barrel chested, and everything. I mean, my God, like I said, I told my wife, I'm like, he could be Kane for Halloween this year. He pulled it off perfect, like classic Kane.
Anyways, James.
yeah, speaking of AEW, how about that world title match they're going to be having on their next pay-per-view?
Which is
Omega against
Pac
Cassidy versus
Omega
Pac.
my little dog pockets.
they're doing a 3-way now?
Yep,
My little dog pockets.
because they have nobody else.
So that from what I remember, there was supposed to be a number 1 contenders match, Pac against Orange. That's been thrown out and just made into a 3-way now.
No, that went a draw. That was a draw.
Ah, okay.
So that was the decision, making a 3-way.
Ah,
The way they
Lame.
played it off at Blood and Guts, it was going to be Omega versus Cassidy.
right.
They had nobody else.
That's a main event.
Because they have not built their roster properly.
Don't tell Dave Meltzer that. Don't
Oh,
tell
Yeah, of
Paul
course.
Ford
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't want his disciples bashing us every day.
Mhm.
Fuck
Yeah.
him.
Well, Miro's
Dave, you're
got
number
the
1.
title now, finally.
Minus 5 stars.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Miro's finally
was
a
now
champion.
GT champ, so
Yeah, there was a consolation prize for shitty booking.
Yeah.
here's the thing: what are they going to do when that belt's off him?
Nothing.
It's just like what would they have done with Brody Lee once? I mean, God rest his soul. If the unfortunate didn't happen, what would they have done with him then? Yes, because Brody already he main evented against Moxley at the pay-per-view. He won the TNT title against Cody. Then he dropped it. Where do you go from there? That's the problem with these guys. Is they're just just running
They're
through
not
the middle.
thinking ahead. They're not thinking ahead enough.
No.
And speaking of Cody, he booked himself out of being in the world title picture. So it's like, okay, you've taken one of your names out of a world title scene.
Yep.
You do that within the first year.
And don't get me wrong, he's trying to build new stars. He's going up against that Anthony Ogogo guy at the pay-per-view. But that was the other thing too. I just found this kind of dopey. Why are we doing evil foreigner gimmicks? It's 2020, sort of 2021. Why are we doing gimmick angles where this British boxer comes in, drops Cody with a gut punch, and then puts the Union Jack over him? Kind of like how
Team Canada beat down the Dudleys and they buried them with the Canadian flags.
Vince is still doing it with Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Even
Apollo
though they
Crews,
don't
man.
really need to be doing it.
Nope.
That's true. Yeah, I'm like, why are we still doing angles like that?
Because it's like we've seen this shit so many fucking times. Why still do them? Oh, because, it's because...
Until the end of time.
Yeah, because...
It's been going on since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Russell asked earlier, predictions for tomorrow night WrestleMania Backlash, because I did my predictions video earlier today, and I will be live tomorrow night after the pay-per-view to do a review, because I'm back to talking wrestling on my YouTube channel after over a year. Because I thought to myself, you know what, after watching Mania last month, I figured now that we're about ready to get fans back, here in a couple of months. Might as well come back while we're at it.
How are they going now?
Let me pull
I
up
don't even know
the
the card. I don't even know the card. So.
All right, so it's only 6 matches currently. So if it stays
Okay.
like this, it's going to be a short show. So we got a lumberjack match: Damian Priest versus The Miz. I say Priest wins.
See, is the Priest and Miz have been doing something like every week, something different? I mean, it's always like it's either Priest versus Miz, or it's Priest versus Morrison with Miz in his corner, or a 2-on-1 handicap match, or throwing tomatoes at each other and shit. And that's my problem with Raw. Is there's been a lot of on again, off. It's the same matches every week. SmackDown's slightly different.
Yeah.
If they're, I don't know what's going on with the if they're in a full program or not. If they are, I think Miz has to win to get his heat to keep it going, and then they can keep going with the angle. I don't know though. Otherwise,
So we can wrestle each other 4 more times on Raw.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like this would be.
like I said, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Just have
the plan.
Priest
Yeah.
win and move the hell on.
Yeah, and have
Yeah.
Priest work with somebody else.
I heard Aleister
Priest
Black
work
is
with
now
Sheamus.
being-
I was gonna say, you could do a Priest Sheamus US title program and blow it off at SummerSlam with Priest getting the belt.
Guy's getting over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also
And
helps that
he's
he's
just-
really fucking good. So there you go.
Yeah, fucking A. Keith Lee is going to be set to return, from what I heard, and I heard Aleister Black is going to be set to return as well. He's going to be on Raw. How about Selena Vega?
In the Performance Center, yeah.
Yep. Coming back.
And possibly coming back.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people shit on that.
Yeah, of
This
course.
is like, it's her life. Let her do whatever the
Yeah.
fuck
They're
she
all like, oh,
wants.
she's a hypocrite. She said she was going to take a stand against the company. And help
And,
people
for the people who don't understand, it had to do with the whole Twitch thing, but they worked it all out, so it's all water under the bridge at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
She's a
Adam
girl
Cole's
that's
still going
let
strong
her
on
live her
Twitch, so
life.
there you go. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And where's Adam Cole been? Haven't seen him since the match with Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Are they gearing him up and getting ready for a big roster move up?
Probably.
Well, I figured
One
they
thing
were
I
going to do
noticed-
that.
One thing I noticed since WrestleMania, we have had no roster move ups, no
Mhm.
call ups yet.
That is weird.
You could see him show up for
A lot of those
Cesaro and
guys on
Roman.
NXT have been there for a few years.
Mm-hmm. But the next matchup, we got the SmackDown Tag Titles, the Dirty Dogs, Ziggler and Rude versus Ray and Dominic.
No, the team name is Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph, that's much better. Yeah.
Regardless, give
I
the
didn't make
belts
that
to
up,
the
but that's good.
Mysterios.
I said that in the
Yeah.
video. I said that in my video. I
Yeah.
say give them to Ray and Dominic.
Yep, makes
The
sense.
tag belts aren't going to mean shit until they unify them.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You have 2 divisions going nowhere.
And there's not enough teams on either brand to warrant having 2 belts.
Mhm.
See, that's the problem with there's not enough women in the women's division,
To have 2 belts, yeah.
Well, the NXT
And-
women's titles are different. Those are allowed to float between the brands. So they can work multiple teams. Raw, SmackDown, those
And
are
NXT,
segmented.
yeah.
So that's where they need to unify those so they can float between the shows. They're in the same fucking building anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
That was one thing I liked with the women's tag titles is they floated between the 3 brands. Now that
Mhm.
NXT the women's have their own tag belts now.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, though, it was nice to see Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell win the tag. It was a good match too. It was a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
NXT right now, in my opinion, is the best wrestling program on.
Oh yeah, it's been that way for a while.
Yeah.
Did you see the works of being signed to NXT UK?
I don't think so.
B Priestley.
Oh, why do I know that name?
Well, B Priestley's boyfriend is Will Ospreay.
Oh, her. Okay.
I wonder if they're gonna use that as a bar. Well, currently Will Ospreay is currently the IWGP champion.
Champion, yeah. So
I wonder if they're gonna eventually make a bargaining move and try to.
so that means his career there is over. So
Yeah.
Well,
but-
remember how we were talking about how great it was for Evil to win the world title over there, and then he lost it. And now what does he do?
what does he do? So yeah, he's fucked.
Then
So.
he bangs Io Shirai, so that's what.
Hey, ain't gonna harm with that one.
So now, speaking of the women, moving on to the SmackDown Women's Title match, Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Bianca's got to retain.
Yeah, Bianca's got to retain or DQ.
Yeah, or DQ to set up another match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to keep that going. Bailey's good value. Bailey can help her get further over as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Bailey is the Chris Jericho of the WWE right now. And I'm not just saying it because we're promos. She's just a workhorse. She's a workhorse, and she gets everyone.
Yeah.
She does Chris Jericho better than Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I was about to say calling her Jericho is kind of an insult nowadays. So,
Okay,
Jericho's the Bailey of AEW. Let's say that Jericho's the Bailey of AEW.
There you go. She's what Jericho was.
How dare you?
Oh, by the way, Scott, Johnny Z is Jericho's guest this week.
Johnny who?
Johnny Z.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
And
Wow.
what's great about it is I was afraid. I'm like, oh great, Jericho's gonna throw a bunch of inaccurate metal facts and all that stuff. Johnny Z talks so damn much that he barely gets Jericho to get a word.
We're talking Johnny Z, the producer.
John Zazula. Yeah.
John Zazula. Okay. No, I was thinking of Johnny K for some reason. Yeah, Johnny Z. Yeah, that'd be interesting to hear. So next up, Raw Women's Title Triple Threat: Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Charlotte. I say Rhea retains, but I would not be shocked if they give the belt to Charlotte again because it's fucking Charlotte. I like Charlotte to death, but good lord, WWE, stop giving her the belt so many fucking times.
I like her, but there seems to be something off about her in this recent.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's still burnt about probably what they did to her at WrestleMania. So she's probably still got that in her craw. And her husband got fired, or her fiance. So
yeah.
It's just like, by the way, another one who's in talks to AEW. Watch, he's going to wrestle Omega, or he's going to wrestle Moxley. He's going to put one of them over, and then he's just going to be floundering around on the bench.
Yeah.
Just like Pentagon.
Yep. Yeah. What the hell has he been doing lately? So,
well, actually,
grass is greener, don't you know?
Yeah, well, actually, I remember last week Ricky brought up that supposedly he's challenging Omega for the AAA title at the next AAA show. Andrade.
Yeah, that's in AAA. That's in AAA.
But,
yeah, it's Andrade. Yeah.
But
what they got to start doing with Omega right now is they got to make him. They got to make him honky tonk man.
Oh, the honky tonk man thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Omega's got 3 belts. Okay. And he's going to start getting burnt. I mean, they should be looking at him as like, hey, I'm the best. I got 3 belts. He should be looked at as like, he's really stressed out. He's got 3 titles. He's got everybody gunning for him. So, like, he will disqualify himself or walk out on a match, and he'll justify his actions saying, like, look, I got to go to AAA Mania next week and defend this belt. I'm not going to waste my energy out there with Jungle Boy or Darby Allin or anything like that, you know. And then when he starts losing the belts, that's when you start building him back up as a babyface, because that's when he's actually got to stand up and fight.
Mm-hmm.
When he starts losing,
that would be interesting if AEW did disqualifications and stuff, which they don't.
No, you're right. They can do countouts though.
I don't think they do countouts either.
They can in this situation.
Next up, triple threat for the WWE Championship: Lashley, Drew, and Braun. I say Lashley retains, but the only concern I have right now with the WWE title picture, after this, who the fuck does Lashley work with now? Because you're not going to do... I don't think they're going to go back to Drew one-on-one right away. Or Braun right away.
Build up a new opponent, Jinder Mahal. There you go. Give him a Jinder.
Ooh.
Or Keith Lee if he goes back to Raw.
So there you go. Keith Lee and Lashley at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Or, wait, Damian Priest.
Damian Priest, another one. Might be pushing him too fast. Might be pushing him a little too fast in that spot, but... You know, it's still get him something. So.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Lee is Cleveland Jr.
Oh God!
Wow! I don't know what you're talking about, man. My boy Keith Lee gonna whip your honey, boy.
Oh, why you do that to me?
Oh, Lashley, you are just the worst kind of person.
Daddy, you gotta press the square button when playing Call of Duty. Oh, shut up, Junior, you fat ass. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways. But the big match, and the one that I even struggled to make a prediction for, the Universal title match, Roman versus Cesaro, we're getting it here. I was bouncing through in my head, like, I just think to myself, I wish they would have saved this match for SummerSlam for a bigger stage to give Cesaro a bigger moment, but I'm going Cesaro here because you might as well strike while the iron's hot.
Give him the ring. Have him give it to Cesaro. Give Cesaro a brief run so we can all say he was champion, and then everybody can shut up saying Cesaro didn't get a fair shake. Then have him give the belt back to Roman at SummerSlam.
James?
I think there's going to be some sort of no finish and you do a rematch down the road.
That's what I'm thinking too, because like, isn't Seth kind of getting involved somehow now?
That's probably going to be the SummerSlam match.
Okay.
Seth and Roman.
They're teasing a Seth babyface turn.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, we haven't had babyface Seth versus heel Roman yet.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Because you could have
also the thing of, I think they may do a Roman and Jimmy Uso match on the road because they're playing.
Well, if they get like Jimmy gets, because I know Jimmy's not following Jay, and Seth's getting involved, and we've already seen Seth and Cesaro at WrestleMania. You could see Cesaro get the title from Roman, and then Cesaro goes back in the program with Seth over the title, and then Cesaro, either Seth or Cesaro faces Roman again at Survivor Series. That's where you could have Seth and Roman for the title, possibly. Yeah, there's all kinds of factors involved in that. I know.
Well, that depends on if they're still going to do the brand warfare stuff at Survivor Series.
You also understand there's one more big question mark, one big mystery as to who is missing, and we don't know if he's done for good but you never fucking know with him. That's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, not until there's fans. Not until there's fans.
SummerSlam, they might be saving him for SummerSlam.
Because that's a big money program that they got to do if they get Brock back. Is Brock Roman with Paul Heyman having to choose who does he side with?
That's WrestleMania.
But that's a WrestleMania match right there.
Yeah, that's Dallas, Texas. Sell out fucking AT&T.
Yeah,
and Mega Bunny with that one. So not yet.
Yeah,
but
same with Becky. They're saving Becky for SummerSlam too.
Probably.
Honestly, just keep the belt on Roman as long as you fucking can. Because right now he's golden.
Yeah. I would not want to see. I mean, for the best thing for Roman, I don't want to see what they did with Drew, where Drew just drops the title to Randy for no reason,
and then get it back, right back,
and then get it back, and then drop it. It's I don't want to see that with Roman too. So I agree with James.
For him to lose into Cesaro.
Yeah.
Like him losing to Cesaro just to get it back. It's like, okay, then what was the point?
It doesn't help Cesaro in the long run. So some kind of chicanery, non-finish, probably IC probably happening. But
now Becky is coming back. I think Becky probably could be on her last run anyways. I think if we see Becky Lynch back, she'll probably challenge Bianca Belair at SummerSlam and lose. So
I wonder if Becky comes back, she doesn't have like a little bit of the Edge scenario where when he came back, he got booed. And Becky starts going heel and goes in that realm and starts feuding with, say, Rhea or Bianca or someone like that. So, I mean, I'm just guessing at that. I'm not just speculating. But, a push job endeavor, if you will. But, it just seems like that's another thing she could do.
Money in the Bank to worry about at some. I think next pay-per-view's Money in the Bank, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
What are they going to do with that?
Yeah, it is Money in the Bank, and it's on June 20th. Yeah, I forgot about
now,
that.
is Kevin Owens isn't booked on this pay-per-view, is he?
No.
I remember the promo he cut on Talking Smack to Heyman, telling him that, don't make sure Roman doesn't forget about me. So I wonder if he's somehow getting involved in this. There's so many, and this was like the good part of WrestleMania we talked about. It wasn't formulaic, it wasn't predictable. So it was really hard when it came to Edge, Daniel, and Roman. It was hard to pick who was going to win that one. But nowadays we kind of have the same thing, and that's the fun part. We can speculate.
Especially with Roman and Cesaro, because even like I said in my video, I had a hard time trying to pick because it's like part of me wants for them to keep the belt on Roman because he's doing so well, but part of me wants them to put the belt on Cesaro just so Cesaro can finally get a world title in the company like he should have gotten years ago. But I mean, either or, I'll be all right with it. But I'm still only saying Cesaro to strike while you got the iron hot, and then do whatever afterwards. Yeah, it would be pointless for Roman to get the belt back, but I mean, it would be a waste to not put the belt on Cesaro in some capacity.
But it would also be a waste to put it on him, then take it off of him like a month or so afterwards.
So
yeah, maybe not. Maybe if they're going to give it to Cesaro, at least have it for a good while, and then they could do whatever in the meantime.
You have Cesaro come so damn close to winning, you get some sort of interference, Cesaro wins Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's possible.
That could be the thing.
Have that and tease it for forever. Like after WrestleMania, he's still got it.
Mm.
Have him hold it damn near a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could work.
Because there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of flexibility. I mean, you could turn Cesaro heel and have him cash in.
Mm-hmm. You could put on Seth. He could cash it in on Roman. Once again.
So now that you brought up Kevin Owens, now that makes me think that this could happen. Perhaps, like, if KO gets involved, we could see maybe, like, on a future SmackDown, a tag match, Roman and Seth against KO and Cesaro somehow.
Mm-hmm. KO could get the Money in the Bank. There's
Money in the Bank this
As
year
long
is
as
going
they
to be
don't
really
waste
interesting.
Money in the Bank this year.
Yeah, like
As long
they
as they
did
don't
with
waste
Miz.
Yeah.
Otis.
Or how about
And Otis, yeah.
How about somebody completely unexpected shows up and wins Money in the Bank?
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
You and I thought the same thing.
All together now. Adam Cole. Yep.
Adam Cole, baby.
Yep.
Because after all, what better way to make your main roster debut than to be a mystery guy in Money in the Bank and win it all?
Makes his debut at Money in the Bank and wins it. And he starts off Raw or wherever they put him red hot. He's already got Money in the Bank. He's like, I just got here and I could be the top guy whenever I want now.
Yep.
Now, isn't Cena coming back to Raw this week?
They're talking about it. They're talking.
I thought I heard that was happening.
No.
I heard there's speculation
so.
that he might be coming back.
Yeah. I mean, for like a one-off. I thought he was coming back for like just one show.
Yeah.
Well, if he is, what would he do? I guess some promo segment with somebody?
Maybe.
Yeah. I think, again, they're saving him for fans.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, some other questions I noticed. Ricky was asking, would it be a good idea for Vice to do about Dark Side of the Ring on CM Punk?
No, because
No,
Punk's
there's
happy.
nothing really dark side about it.
No,
Yeah.
there's no drugs. There's no elicited sex. There's no sex tape. There's no suicide. So
Anybody watch This Week with Nick Gage?
I
Ricky mentioned
haven't.
that.
Yeah, Ricky did mention that. I need to watch Dark Side of the Ring. I just always forget about it. It always slips my head.
No, this week's going to be Collision in Korea.
Oh,
I do want to see that.
I didn't watch the Nick Gage one yet. I might
Me
watch
neither.
it tonight. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really grabbed or intrigued by Nick Gage's story.
Me neither. It's like,
I mean,
who the fuck is Nick Cage?
I learned something new, but at the same... I learned something new, but at the same point, it's like, why was that a Dark Side of the Ring?
And actually, has anybody here seen one of the recent episodes of that WWE Most Wanted Treasure show?
I've seen clips on YouTube. That's it.
Yeah, I saw the episode where they had Taker when he went to his storage unit where he keeps a lot of stuff, and they brought out the Phantom Mask and how that's the only one ever made.
Yep.
That was pretty cool to see.
What's really funny is the big guy on that show, the host, he's a heel on NXT now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh shit.
He's like Swerve's. He's in Swerve's crew.
Yeah. Sean Carr has a win over Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Oh, good for him. It's a work. Anyway.
And Bobby Ocean has a win over Ciampa, but nobody cares about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
He tapped out Ciampa.
Oh boy. Let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, Russell was bringing up when we were talking about like wrestlers being heel and face. He says, "Yeah, one great thing about being a heel is you don't have to worry about being PC and you're more powerful." Good point. That is a good point. I know if I was in the business and I was a heel, I'd do everything possible to get people to hate me. I could just tell it like it is.
Well, within reason, because I'm sorry, you do have to still be PC as a heel. Because there's certain kinds of heat that people don't want to pay to see you get your ass kicked. They're just going to go, fuck you, I'm not coming. So you got to get the right kind of heat.
Yeah.
You don't call people, you don't call people fat. You don't make fun of their size. You don't make fun of their faces and all that stuff. You make fun of them just being there to witness your awesomeness. That you're supposed to do as a heel. That makes them hate you and want you to see you get your ass kicked.
That's why so many heels in the indies were terrible that we
saw. Horrible.
You're fat. Shut your mouth.
Hey, scumbag, shut up. Stupid.
Shut up.
Our local sports team
Thank you.
sucks.
Yep. Yeah. How about them Red Sox, huh?
Yeah. Shut up.
You know what that reminds me of now that you bring up like when heels do the local teams thing? I remember there's been a couple of instances when guys were heels and they were in their hometown and they had to diss their own team. Like Cena back in his Thugonomics days, he had to diss on the Celtics. And I bet that had to be hard for him to swallow in creative.
Uh-huh.
I never got that. Yeah.
Shut up.
You could have. It's like if you're gonna do that, at least make it go to say what they should have done was have Cena be Thugonomics in New York and diss the Yankees and say the Sox are better than you damn Yankees or whatever the fuck, and that would have
been a riot.
Yeah, but hey, it would have been funny. Or that he could have gotten the boo treatment like Elias got in that segment with KO when he brought up the basketball team in what was it, Seattle?
Supersonics, yeah.
Yeah, and he couldn't say a word because they just kept booing. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in recent.
It's not just his reaction, but it's Owen's reaction too. It's like, oh, I think you hurt them.
Yeah. And even back when I used to watch the Fine Brothers stuff on YouTube before they became idiots, I saw when they had them doing the reactions to funny moments in WWE, and Elias saw that clip back. He's like, "Yeah, I really made a lot of people mad that night." and this, keep in mind when they camera focus. Keep in mind when they did this and they had Drew on the show. He was a heel at the time, but he could not resist laughing at a lot of stuff because that just goes to show you the person he is. Same with Becky whenever they were trying to make her heel after SummerSlam 2018 and she was on there, and she couldn't resist. Because it's like, the real person comes out. Some people try to keep in character, like Lana, for some reason. I mean, I find that funny. The first time they started doing that in 2016 when they had WWE people on Fine Brothers React show, it was Rusev and Lana. Rusev was just being a funny, fun-loving dude, just looking at all these clips, laughing like, that sound! And Lana's just still there doing the fake-ass accent that I cannot stand. Ugh.
Not impressed.
Yeah. I am not impressed. I am very bored. Or she'd see some baby video, she'd be like, and they're like, that's a smile. That was not a smile. This is a smile. And it's like, fuck off, bitch. Get out of my screen.
Speaking of Lana, someone's got to manage and speak for Miro. My God.
Taz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
If they're not going to do Taz, Samoa Joe, which I know they did in the past for a cup of coffee, but if they're not do that now, they can't do it, then do Taz and Miro. Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It could be the same thing.
They very well could.
I mean, Ricky Starks is hurt, so he's going to be out for quite some time, from what I heard. So there's a spot open in that, so that way it's not an oversaturated group, But yeah, someone's got to speak for Miro because my God. Ugh.
Yeah. I think the heat for Miro is people want to see him be the happy-go-lucky foreigner dude, Rusev Day and all that stuff. They want to see that. So the heat is, don't let them see that. Let him be the Bulgarian Brute again, just without the flag colors and all that stuff. Have him come out, not say a word, have Taz be his mouthpiece.
And just beat the shit out of people like he was in NXT.
Right, and just get back to that character. That'll be the heat. Like, no, we want fun Rusev back. Fuck you, I don't do that now.
Well, that was the thing.
I am not Rusev.
I am Miro. I am Miro.
He was the best man, and he played video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, who somehow gets tens upon thousands of viewers on Twitch.
Name recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Content.
well, I think that's a good place to wrap things up this week. So, reminder, next week we are we were just talking about Samoa Joe. We will be talking about Samoa Joe's TNA undefeated streak from Slammiversary 05 through Genesis 06 next week. But before we go, it's plug time. First and foremost important, subscribe to the Shadow Called YouTube channel. Just starting to get some new content going on there. Album reviews, even though there hasn't been one in over a week. I need to fix that, as well as a couple of the other guys like Chronix is supposed to do one soon. The Minecraft stuff, that might have to wait a little bit because I haven't gotten around to editing the last session yet, and all that. And, of course, the podcast every weekend. There you go. Scott?
I made the announcement here on this podcast a week ago, and on Mother's Day, I made it official across all social media. I am now under the It's Mr. Scott moniker. No more Mr. Scott Reacts or Mr. Scott Rocks and all that stuff. It's Mr. Scott across the board on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, I have a TikTok. I don't do much with it, but I have one. And I also, on my Vimeo channel as well, my backup channel, when stuff I get requests for gets blocked, I'm talking to you, DJ Crystal Clear, because everything you request pretty much gets blocked. So I had to put it all on Vimeo, but it's all good. And so that's where you find me. And Walter will tell you where you also find me and him in the podcasting world.
You can find me and Mr. Scott on the Necrocast. Got a big episode coming.
James?
You can find me on my YouTube at We Are Pro Wrestling, where the next 2 weeks I'm going to be also talking about TNA, the two greatest teams in TNA history. First, America's Most Wanted. Second, Beer Money. And you can follow me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling.
And finally, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, ThrashManiac99. A lot of stuff's been going on over there. Of course, I got the Marvel Studios Cup Series Season 10. Can you believe I've been doing 10 seasons of this crap? It's off and running. And yeah, it's going strong. Also, like I started today, wrestling videos are back. Also got a bunch of gaming videos coming up. Of course, the 5 question series, which, by the way, if you guys want to ask me a question for episode 15 next week, go to the last 5 questions video I posted yesterday and send me a question. You can follow me on Twitter at ThrashManiac99. You can follow me on Instagram at ThrashManiac_YT. And finally, you can follow and or subscribe to my Twitch channel, ThrashManiac99. And that's all she wrote. Until next week, horns high, and we will see you all very, very soon.